Almost there. 2 gates to go. This is what digging deep looks like. Gang. For the CBA? We're going to the meeting. You don't understand?
Hello guys, welcome back to TFD. Let's get into something that quietly shook things up after yesterday's meeting, because new details from the WNBA NBA Owners Proposal are starting to surface, and some of it is wild. At first glance, a few parts of it almost make you laugh, but then there are other parts that make you stop and give a serious side-eye, especially if you're a player who was hoping public support would really swing in their favor. A revenue figure leaked from the presentation chart is now making the rounds, and let me tell you, considering this is a league that has never actually turned a profit, the numbers being floated are pretty jaw-dropping. Not just in terms of league valuation, but in what they're projecting could eventually translate into player salaries by the end of the next CBA. So, here's what we learned. According to Annie Constable, the WNBA and the WNBPA met for about 3 hours. And despite whatever polished language people want to use publicly, the truth is simple. There's a fracture inside the player side. Call it tension, call it disagreement, call it different philosophies, but it's a split. You've got one group that's ready to strike if they need to, and you've got another group that absolutely does not want to go that route. Around 40 players showed up for the meeting, some in person and some via Zoom. But even there, things felt uneven. So Nafisa Collier and Kelsey Plum didn't make the trip to New York, saying the weather was too bad, while Caitlin Clark was there for the Madison Square Garden game. So yeah, people noticed that. Then you've got the Players Association president who basically admitted the tone shifted early. The expectation was that the league might come with something new, a counter-proposal, some movement. Instead, the owners showed up and said, in effect, "This is our offer. Now you know where we stand." And that's where things got real uncomfortable. Now, more information has come out thanks to Ramona Shelburne over at ESPN, who does excellent work covering this space. ESPN obtained a summary of what was presented to players, and it outlines the WNBA's current positions in detail. When you look at it all together, the revenue assumptions, the salary projections, and the lack of movement from ownership, you start to understand why some players are feeling fired up and why others are feeling nervous. Because what's happening right now isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about leverage. It's about unity. And right now, the players aren't nearly as united as they need to be.
So, yeah, they rolled out some slick visuals. Credit where it's due, somebody in the room definitely knows their way around PowerPoint. I mean, cool, you've got the charts, you've got the bars, you've got all the right arrows pointing in all the right directions. This is the deck? All right, I guess this is it. Looks nice, says the things it's supposed to say. Fair enough. Number 1. Substantially increase player salaries to reflect recent and future business growth. Number 2, improve business health and profitability. Number 3, maintain incentives for team and league investment. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The next slide. Look at this, folks. The WNBA has built in a scenario where the league continues to grow at a rate of 5% all the way to the end of the next CBA, the one they're offering. We talked about how they're projecting $1.87 million, nearly $1.9 million in the final year, which would be 2031. Someone asked me earlier how long the new CBA would be, and I said I thought it was about 6 years. Well, it actually looks closer to 5 years. But here's what really stands out. You see another column here, one for the Supermax and one for the average salary. And under the projected CBA note, it says 2031 higher revenue scenario adds 5% to the annual league and team revenue growth rates. So here's what the league is basically saying, at least the way I read it. They're telling players, if we grow the business by 5% a year, 5 years in a row, that's a total of about 25% growth, and this is what your salaries could look like. And the numbers they're putting out there, they're huge. In this projected high-revenue scenario, the Supermax salary jumps to around $2.4 million. Let that sink in for a second. The current Supermax is about $250,000. So they're talking about nearly 10 times the money in just 5 years, if everything goes perfectly. Now look at the other end of the scale. The current minimum salary is roughly $120,000. Under this projection, by 2031, that number would climb to about $780,000. And again, that's based on the same idea, 5% growth year after year stacked on top of itself. But it doesn't stop there. In that same higher revenue scenario, the average salary ends up right around $1 million per year for the average player. That's also close to 10 times what players are making now on average. Here's the part that really matters, though. This isn't guaranteed money. This only happens if the league hits those growth targets every single year. 5%, then another 5, then another 5, and so on. If they miss even once, who knows what actually kicks in? So yeah, the projections look amazing on paper. Life-changing money, no doubt. But it's all built on perfect conditions and steady growth with no setbacks. And if you want to see all the details, Ramona Shelburne posted the full breakdown on her Twitter. There's a lot more in there to dig into.
Let me show you a couple things that jumped off the page. First, item 33. They're eliminating marijuana testing. So basically, do what you do, just show up and hoop. As long as you're ready to play basketball, that's what matters. Then you get to number 37, free WNBA League Pass. I'm sorry, but that's hilarious. And right before that, number 36, complimentary All-Star tickets for all players. I don't care who you are, that's funny. You're in the league and they're giving you tickets to your own event. I had to laugh at that. I mean, that is funny. I'm not even going to lie. I honestly just assumed, yeah, I know what they say about assumptions, the mother of all screw-ups, but I really thought players were already getting into All-Star Weekend for free. Turns out, nope, I guess not. And to be fair, those tickets are worth a little more now that Caitlin Clark is in the league. Prices done went up. But still, can they afford to buy their own tickets? Come on now, that part is funny. That's genuinely funny. And now, here's where it gets wild to me. The players are looking at this deal and saying, nah, we're turning this down. At this point, y'all might as well strike. If this offer isn't good enough, then just go all the way with it. Because I don't even know what to say anymore. This honestly makes the players look worse, not better. The $1.87 million Supermax already had people raising eyebrows. Now we're talking about a $2.4 million Supermax in the high growth scenario. We're talking about $1 million a year for the average player if the league keeps growing the way everyone claims it is. Those are not small numbers. Those are life-changing numbers. And all we keep hearing is how fast the league is growing, how it's booming, how ratings are up, attendance is up, interest is up. So I get why the league is being cautious. They don't want the last 2 seasons to be outliers. After losing money for so long, they're trying to protect themselves. And honestly, who can blame them? But when you look at these projections on paper and you still say no, that's where people start to side-eye the whole thing. So yeah, smoke a little weed, watch some WNBA League Pass on us, and enjoy the free tickets, I guess. Tell me what you think in the comments. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for daily updates.